Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Root Beer here, and I thought we would start looking at another math contest, this time the 2006 Fermat paper. So, the Fermat contest is aimed at grade 11, and it is the multiple choice grade 11 contest put out by the University of Waterloo. There is a written solution contest, not unlike the Euclid, that's put out for grade 11. That's the Hypatia contest, and I'll be doing the 2006 Hypatia eventually. But for now, we're going to focus on the Fermat paper. And as I try and get you guys to do, if you want to click the first link in the description, you can download a copy of this contest for yourself and practice it on your own. Okay? That is really the best way to practice for these contests. Okay? Downloading it, trying it on your own, seeing what you can do, seeing what you can't do, and for those questions that you can't do or that you can't do quickly, then you come back, you watch, maybe you learn a trick or two, or you see that it's just as hard for me as it is for you. So, a Fermat contest. We'll just take a little gander. I try and take a gander when I start these things at some of the instructions. 60 minutes. Always be aware of how much time. Calculators are allowed. Things to note. Diagrams are not to scale, so that's an important one. Marking the scores for each question is very important to keep track of. No sense wasting 10 minutes on a 5-mark question in Part A when you could be devoting that time to an 8-mark question in Part C. And little other things, download a copy for yourself and you can read through this. It's important to know, just for any contest, not just the Waterloo ones, but for any contest, what you are required to do and what you are allowed to do and not allowed to do. Anyway, we're going to start off simple with question number 1. The value of 1 over 4 times 5 is... Okay, so this one, I just finished saying calculators are allowed, so we could very quickly, 1 divided by, and be very careful, if your calculator, some calculators allow you to enter the operations in a particular way, where you could just do 1 divided by 4 times 5, but be careful with that. I've put it in brackets, 1 divided by 4 times 5, 0.05, and we see that that's going to be the answer B. So you can get by on the first few questions with your calculator very quickly. Be careful when you're pressing buttons, but suppose I forgot my calculator, and I've done that in the past, and maybe you have as well. What are we to do? Well, we don't want to mess up question number 1, so what have we got to do? Well, it's giving us a fraction that we have to finish off first. 4 times 5 is 20, so 1 over 20. But they want to get a decimal answer out. And we could make connections like 1 is really 1.00, and hey, 20 goes into 100 5 times, but we have to move the decimal place over. We can get 0.05. But if you're having trouble seeing that connection and saying, gee, I should really put 100 there, then of course you can always fall back on regular old long division. Okay? 20 doesn't go into 1. So put a decimal place, add a 0. 20 doesn't go into 10. Put a decimal place, or not put a decimal place, but add another 0. 20 does go into 100 5 times. Remember, your decimal places need to line up. 5 times 20 is 100. So we actually get no remainder. And as long as we have properly put the decimal place and the 5 in position, we can still calculate 0.05. And we can do that by hand in case we forgot our calculator. Okay? And some of you out there will say, oh, it's 1 over 20. I know what 1 over 20 is in decimal form. And you can do it in your head. And that's fantastic if you've got those mental arithmetic skills. But there's lots of ways to do it. Calculator, by hand, by head, lots of options, and we are off to the races. So that's question number 1. Join me for question number 2 on the 2006 Fermat paper in the next video. I'll see you there.